So, how is it possible for one single event to split into two completely different stories almost instantly? We're going to look at a fatal shooting where the official account and the video evidence tell two entirely separate tales.
On one side of this story, you have an ICU nurse, someone whose job it was to care for people.
And on the other side, a U.S. Border Patrol officer, in the middle of a pretty intense immigration operation. Their lives intersected for just a few moments, and the result was a tragedy that immediately kicked off a huge nationwide debate. Okay, so let's break down exactly what happened on Saturday, January 24th, 2026 in Minneapolis. We'll start with the very basic facts of that day.
So here's what pretty much everyone agrees on. A 37-year-old man named Alex Preddy was shot and killed by a federal agent. Just about everything else, well, that's where things get really complicated.
The first version of the story came out almost right away, and it came directly from federal government officials. Within just a few hours, the Homeland Security Secretary, Kristi Noem, was on record framing Alex Preddy as a major threat. She said he was there to inflict maximum damage and, quote, kill law enforcement. And it didn't stop there. The language got even more intense when White House senior advisor Stephen Miller called Preddy a would-be assassin, quickly turning this whole thing into a fierce political fight. And then, another key piece of the official story dropped. Assistant Homeland Security Secretary Tricia McLaughlin stated that Preddy was armed and that he violently resisted the officers. And, that's a really critical claim when you're talking about justifying lethal force.
What's really wild is just how fast this story was put together. Look at this timeline. In just a couple of hours after the shooting, you have this very consistent, very damning narrative being pushed from the highest levels of government.
But almost as quickly as that official story was being built, a completely different one started to pop up, thanks to bystander videos, people who were there, and Preddy's own family. In this right here, this is the absolute heart of the conflict. The government's claim was that Alex Preddy came at them with a handgun, but videos that started circulating online seemed to show him holding a cell phone. That one detail changes everything. And it wasn't just the phone versus gun thing. His family said he was actually trying to shield a woman from pepper spray. And get this, a community note added to Stephen Miller's social media post claimed not only that the gun was never drawn, but that an agent had already taken it from Preddy's holster before the fatal shot. This wasn't just online chatter either. Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz came out swinging, accusing the administration of flat-out lying. He basically told the public to trust what they could see in the videos, which set up this major clash between the state and the federal government over the basic facts. So that brings us to the man himself. The official story paints him as this violent attacker. But who was Alex Preddy, really?
Well, according to his family and public records, Alex Preddy was a 37-year-old ICU nurse working at a VA hospital. He was a U.S. citizen, no criminal record. He loved being outdoors, had a history of protesting immigration policies, and he did own a handgun legally with a permit to carry it.
His parents, they actually learned that their son had been killed from a reporter. Can you even imagine? They said they were just heartbroken and disgusted by the sickening lies being told. Their plea was simple: please get the truth out about our son. So, at the end of the day, you're left with two completely separate versions of reality. They describe two totally different people and two totally different sets of actions. They just can't both be true. So let's just boil it down to the big questions still hanging out there. Number one, the weapon. Was it a gun or was it a phone? Number two, the intent. Was this a would-be assassin or was it a protester trying to help? And finally, the action. Did he violently resist or was he tackled while he was filming and then shot? And that really is the challenging question this whole thing leaves us with, isn't it? When you have an official, top-down story that is immediately contradicted by video from the ground, who are you supposed to believe? In an age where we're all so divided, how do we ever find our way back to a shared truth?